Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Culbert, Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center. Today I wanted to bring you a video about some of the technology that we have in the office. You know, we claim to be the leader in alternative healthcare, and without adding technology into the office, we would be just another chiropractic office. What we're going to show you today is I'm going to run a Zyto scan on myself, and I'm going to try to go through some of the things that Zyto can give us. Zyto is a company that I ran into at the New Jersey Chiropractic Convention, probably about, I hate to say it, about 9 years ago now. And it gives us some phenomenal information. When I did it at the seminar, at the time I was working with a world-famous jazz musician. I was going around the world with them numerous times a year, as well as running my practice and adjusting him out here where he lives, not too far from the office. So I was down to about 5.5 hours of sleep, literally for about 5 years, and only had a total in those 5 years, 18 or 19 days off. At the end of the 5 years, I was really fairly beaten up, and I unfortunately had broken a lot of the rules that I try to teach my patients, and I've generally lived by. But it was a phenomenally great gig. I was traveling all around the world, phenomenal countries, getting to experience great jazz, which I love, and still maintaining and running a big practice and maintaining time with my wife and my kids and my grandchildren. But that has a cost over time. And I ran into this technology, Zyto, and Zyto was absolutely amazing because literally weeks before, I was working out down in my basement, ended up having to take a small break to go to the bathroom, and literally was peeing out blood for days and days and days. Turned out that I had a problem with my prostate. I was having cysts on that, and those were rupturing, and which was causing all the bleeding. And lo and behold, I go and do Zyto, and Zyto picks up the fact that I have a urinary tract problem and mentioned nothing to the guy who was programming in my information. And I was amazed that this technology could pick up a problem that I was experiencing, and it opened up the window for me to bring it into the office. It gives you a vast amount of information in literally about 7, 8, 9 minutes. So if I can do this, and trust me, I'm technologically challenged at times, we're going to run through a Zyto on me. We'll show you what's going on the scan, and then when it comes up on the computer, I'll scroll through it very quickly and just give you a rundown and a synopsis of some of the things that we would observe on a Zyto scan and the difference that it can make for you as a chiropractic patient here in our office, or bring the information to your chiropractor, have him introduce it to his practice, and see how it can expand the influence that you can have on somebody else's health nutritionally, what is going on chiropractically, what are your 5 biological preferences for care. And so without any further ado, let's see what we can do and see if I don't botch this up. So we have everything basically set up here. I'm going to go for all the inventory, both on the herbal side as well as the vitamin and whole nutrient side. I am going to hit the scanner, and we should, we're starting to scan right now. So this will give us a little video on what goes on with Zyto. But you'll notice on the bottom, it is going to run through a number of different scans. Zyto is going to be checking 198 different biomarkers that are laid out on my hand. So as it is doing its analysis, it is like a bioelectrical impedance scale. Some of the things you're going to end up finding out are pretty amazing. You may think you're eating a very well and balanced diet, but again, where those foods are coming from, even on an organic basis, what is going on in the environment of where that organic farm is. But there could be stuff that's dropping out of the sky that is getting onto those fruits and those vegetables that we're consuming, thinking we're doing a great job. So when we go through the Zyto scan, you may see some things like mycotoxins and the like, and additives and dyes that are in, and I eat a rather clean and healthy diet, but you're going to see some of this stuff gets in. And a recent study that they found that people with Alzheimer's end up having these little microplastics in their brain, and the greatest source of those seems to be the plastic bottles that people get their water in. And the biggest problem is when those plastics get heated by keeping it in your car or the like, or in the transport, or where they're stored in the stores, heat tends to degenerate and degrade those plastics so that it gets into your brain. And when you think that we have a blood-brain barrier that's supposed to keep all these toxins away from our brain, I don't know how they're getting in, but they're getting in, and it's creating a big problem, especially those people that are susceptible and coming down with Alzheimer's and senility. So this is what we've got so far. And this is not really looking good for me today, because we checked 194 biomarkers. I have 55 that are in range. And quite honestly, that's appalling to me. Okay. So I've got to do obviously some work. And I run this scan probably once or twice a year on myself. So this is just an indication of the biomarkers that are out, the biomarkers that are in. So this is the 4 components that they're looking into: the detoxification system, the gastrointestinal system, the hormonal system, and the immune system. And what we're going to look at is we want to see everything being as close to this center line as we possibly can be. Too far to the right, too far to the left, not really a good indicator of what's going on. So I've got a couple of areas with my gastrointestinal system, a little bit on the hydration side. It's early. I put in an early morning workout, probably did not hydrate up enough. And the inflammatory system seems to be a little bit out. It's going to start looking at things that are going on in my system that are going to be a problem with detoxification. And the big one that you're going to see, and I generally pay attention to the top 3, okay, in terms of what's going on there. We've got gastrointestinal system. So something's going on with my colon and my gut. Could be a little bit of a stress overload. Could be that I have not eaten yet today because I started my workout and then came down to start to do video here for YouTube. But chemicals, okay, seem to be a big issue. And something that is known as mycotoxins. These are little toxins that get into your food that are thankfully due to chemicals and pesticides and the alike. You come on down, then there is stuff going on with mold and fungus, candida, okay, cardiovascular system. For all of you guys out there that may not know, during COVID, I ended up with AFib and aflutter. Had a cardiac ablation, so I am constantly monitored to make sure the heart is going on and going well. But I'm going to want to pay attention, especially to what's going on my gastrointestinal system. Food stressor additives are the big thing. So there's something going on in my diet currently where there's a food additive in there that I am not paying attention to. Then we have the mycotoxins, the small intestine is showing up, and stuff going on with minerals. And again, I take a very good supply of vitamins and nutrients, so I may want to be checking in. DHEA is off. That is going to be a hormonal component, okay? I'll be wanting to check in with that. Probiotics, I take those, essential fatty acids. So again, I'm going to want to be taking a look at some things going on in my hormonal system. See, something is going on with my colon. Something is going on with food additives that I need to pay attention to currently in my diet. More than likely what's going on right now, while I hydrate very efficiently, I may need to do something with my water, such as squeeze in some lemon, add a little bit of a pinch of salt, or go with some non-sugared electrolytes. To have that water probably want to stay in my system versus drinking the water and peeing. There is what is known as stress, okay? So stress can be a combination of what's going on physically with you, it could be what's going on biochemically with you, and it could be what's going on emotionally with you. When you are overstressed, your system goes into what is known as fight, fright, or flight response. As you go into a fight, fright, or flight response, blood is shunted from your core to your extremities because you're either going to run like crazy, get into a fight, or you're just paralyzed in fear. So digestion is something that is not generally going on really, really well. Again, some of the things that I do that are a physical stressor, I work out every day. I compete with one of my patients in terms of a lifting contest. Last year, I beat him by 100,000 pounds. I lifted 19.5 million to his 19.4 million. And the guy's literally 6'5" and probably twice my size, and I still beat him. So I'm doing that, and right now I have lifted in the just over 3-month period. I've gotten 10.25 million pounds lifted. So I may be pushing a little bit too hard on the physical plane. The other thing that's going on, I just put in a crazy workout and I did not hydrate enough. I'll be spending the rest of the day hydrating. So that's a biochemical stressor, not drinking enough water. The other thing that we got this past week is everybody now is running to their accountant to get their taxes all finished up for the year. And we got hit with a rather large tax bill that now we've got to figure out how we're going to take care of the government responsibility above and beyond what we had already planned for. So there's a little bit of an emotional stress making sure we have the finances there for taxes. What am I doing biochemically? What am I doing physically? How do I need to balance my stress so I can keep that blood that is being shunted to my extremities for my performance side of things? But obviously I need to pay attention to how do I balance a little bit better so that I'm bringing the blood back to my core for a little bit better digestion and assimilation of the foods and the supplements that I'm taking in. The other thing that we're starting to notice is there's a pattern here, okay, where I've got some food additive stressors. So there is something that is in my diet that is now creating a biochemical stress. And again, the stress overload shunts away. So this is going to be a little bit of timing now that I'm going to be able to sit down with my wife and go, honey, I've gone through the Zyto today, and now what I'm finding is I have some gastrointestinal system not working as well as it possibly could. And the thing that seems to be triggering it is we have something in our diet as a food additive stressor that we need to try to track down and identify and start to pull that out of my diet. And it would probably be a good thing if it's in my diet and it's affecting my biochemistry. We need to get you checked as well. So again, this is how the technology in the office starts to bring us up a little bit of a peg higher than the average chiropractor. Now this is going to get to be something here that's pretty amazing. We're going to get into the mental and emotional stressors that are going on right now. Vitamins and minerals seem to be a little bit off. So now I've got to address what is going on in my system because I take a very extensive supply of nutrients and supplements. But again, is something going on here because of stress? I am simply not digesting and assimilating these vitamins and minerals into my system, or is something a little bit off in the balance and the timing of when I'm taking these? So again, something that we'll end up paying attention to, but also as we get into the emotional side of things, we're going to end up seeing something that is on the emotional side and a component, okay, of what is going on in my life up in my head. Okay, and this is not always a good thing, okay? Trust me, sometimes these emotions are my emotions, and sometimes these are the emotions that of those that I love and am concerned about the most. The first emotional component that shows up here, okay, is greed. And this is not like Wall Street, Michael Douglas, greed is good. I don't happen to think that greed is necessarily a good thing. So is this the fact that I have gotten whacked with a huge tax bill and I'm pissed off, pardon my language, okay, I don't mean to use that word, but I'm frustrated, let's use that word, a better word, that the greedy government is taking more of my money than I think it needs to be taking. Is this that I'm greedy? I don't think so. I tend to donate and give and I'm charitably oriented all the time. So am I having an emotional component now of the government is greedy? Okay, what's happening? There's family dynamics. Is somebody in my family being overly greedy and trying to take from other members of the family that has me concerned about the welfare of other family members? So again, at this moment in time, there is a component emotionally in my head that now I've got to figure that component out and get that in check and control and figure out where that's coming from. Food additive stressors, obviously something again in that diet is interrupting my sleep pattern. And I will definitely attest, I use technology like Whoop, my Apple Watch, Fitbit, Oura Ring to monitor my analytics for my body all the time. And my sleep component in the last 5 days has dropped. So the fact that there's something going on as a food additive stressor, biochemical stress, messing up my sleep. So again, we'll start paying attention to that. So gastrointestinal system, food additive stressors seem to be the thing that is going to be what I need to start to address at this particular time in my healthcare routine. Now, we get into what are the 5 biological preferences for my body right now for proper healing, okay, in this quest. So, boom. First one, what have we been talking about? Food additive stressors, biochemical stress, physical stress, emotional stress. First thing that I've got to start doing right now is stress reduction techniques. Okay, so whether that's meditation, listening to great jazz, laughing a lot, reaching out to others to talk. Trust me, I've got these things down pat. I wake up every day, I start with my prayers, my affirmations. Right now, after I'm done with this, I'm going off to a Bible study, so I'm going to be connected with about a dozen men. We're right now currently doing Revelations. I will be sharing with them some of the stuff that's going on as we delve into Revelations today. I will be listening to great music all day long. Trust me, part of what I've learned in life, you're either going to be tense or you're going to be relaxed. We talked about that in the video that we did with Josh, that we laugh here abundantly. The average child laughs between 250 to 400 times a day. Once you get to be in puberty and becoming a teenager, young adult, you're laughing between 75 and 15 times a day. The average adult, and now I'm a senior at 65, seniors laugh between 0 to 15 times a day. Trust me, I try to laugh abundantly. I'm going to spend a bunch of time with my grandchildren this weekend. They will make me laugh. So stress reduction. I will reach out to others and I will find time to just tune my body and decompress. So that's there. Cold laser, okay? We have cold laser in the office. It's something that brings down inflammation. And one of the things that I've learned with the use of applied kinesiology and some of the other techniques we use in the office, I can use cold laser anywhere over the body. Now I'm going to be doing some exercise. Trust me, I'll take a cold bath or a cold shower after today. I'll spend some time decompressing with my inversion table. And from there, I do have a chiropractic adjustment scheduled at 9:30 after Bible study. The other thing that it does, sometimes it will show me what is going on with the particular spinal levels, where there's more energy, where there's less energy. So that again, as a chiropractor looking at the patient or looking at myself, I'll know specifically which spinal segments are going to end up needing adjusting. So this is some of the things that Zyto can tell you. This is what it's telling me about me right now. There's inflammation, there's stuff going on with my gastrointestinal system. I need to de-stress, and I've got to handle some things emotionally, physically, and biochemically to bring my health back into a triune where structure supports, emotional, and biochemistry are all supported one together. Basic concept in applied kinesiology, a state of true health and well-being where all 3 sides of that triangle are evenly balanced. So if you've seen something here today that interests you and piques your attention to Zyto, please check out our website at smcc4u.com and see if you're in the area. Stop by, send us a comment, send us an email, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, hit the bell so you know when the next video is coming out. We'd love to have you as a member of our YouTube family so that we can get you alternative health information, because in this world, life is the ultimate endurance race, and you need to have all components working for you so that you can get from birth to death and hopefully make that a 100-year or more journey, having great longevity as well as a great health span. This is Dr. Jeff Culbert signing off from Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center. Have a great day.